That's what that is. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Welcome. Um, so I was sitting in the kitchen and I was eating a vegan chocolate cake donut that my friend brought over. And I was laughing about something that I saw on the internet this week, which of course the internet is full of mishigas. But something that I saw on the internet this week that I really liked was someone exercising while eating a piece of cake. And this is in line with the email that I sent today of like, there's this way that I genuinely, when I saw it, was like really surprised that you can do those two things together. Like, and I know physically I probably could have thought of the fact that I could eat cake while exercising, right? But it's like there are these particular polarities in life that we think of as the exact opposite, as totally like somehow canceling each other out. And in fact, that nothing cancels anything out. That you can be exercising and eating a piece of chocolate cake. You can be deeply committed to a relationship and also need space. You can be incredibly fulfilled by the work you do and also be exhausted. Like that, things that seemingly represent two very different sides of a spectrum can deeply coexist together and in fact be in deep relationship with one another. And so I'm just thinking about that this week, what it means to be alive and to hold the poles in every way, in our body, in our emotional work, in our exploration throughout the world. Like even just to be in a body means to hold these poles, right? To find enough length that I'm not just like on the ground all day, that I've found some expansiveness, I found something to reach up into, to inspire the unfurling of my being. But also simultaneously that while doing so, I must find a place to ground. Otherwise I float away. And that I'm deeply cultivating a sense of strength and power in the right side of my body because it feels potent and important to call on the divine masculine in its most non-gendered, very specifically energetic form. And that while cultivating that relationship to sun, I am never not also cultivating a deep relationship to moon, a deep relationship to left side of body, to the strength and power and surrender that comes through being the vessel as opposed to landing in the place that we've been reaching for. So just take a moment here to feel into what feels like it's like pulling you in opposite directions right now. It might be a physical sensation in the body, like a shoulder and a hip on a diagonal line that are both tight or both pulling, or it might be seemingly opposing ideas or people or priorities. But just feel into it for a moment, get curious about it. Trust the first thing that shows up. And how does it live in your body? How does the experience of those poles give you information about yourself internally? And even just feeling the balance of the inhale coming in and the exhale going out. And the relationship, the curve around the bend where the inhale meets the exhale and the exhale meets the inhale. And I'm going to read to you for a moment from our Radiant Sutras. Sitting on a soft seat or lying on your mat, experience the space below as offering no support. You are simply suspended, floating in space. Structures of the mind release, the reservoir of habits dissolves. In an instant, lifetimes of patterns vanish. Rocking, undulating, swaying, carried by rhythm. Cherish the streaming energy flooding your body as a current of the divine. Radiant One, ride the waves of ecstatic motion into a sublime fusion of passion and peace. Sit or lie down completely immobile, beholding the cloudless sky, or if there are clouds, the sky beyond. As vastness envelops you, the body vanishes. Thoughts forget to come in this moment. You are the nature of the great sky. Enter the space inside your head. See it as already infinite, extending forever in all directions. This spaciousness that you are is permeated by luminosity. Know this radiance as the soul of the world. Dreaming, sleeping, awakening, rhythms of darkness and light. Day and night and day, wondering, who am I? Who am I? Who is morphing through this ever-shifting flow? Beloved, wake up. Dance in your true body before time. Shimmering energy without end. So just take a moment here to feel to the vastness of your mind and of your body and all of the elements and spaces that it contains. And also feel the grounding of this body, this life, this moment in your seat as you root down. Something to lift and something to lengthen. And you might call yourself in with a sound or a breath or a word. Oh. And even something as beautiful as the sounds you make are ultimately released, right? So exhale them out and find your way to your mat for tabletop position. Movements in some circular direction. It could be circles of the head, it could be circles of the hips, they could be going together. But give yourself some space here. You don't have to just stay in the linear head to tail plane. You can also move into the side body planes. Feel into the deep dimensionality of all the ways that you can move and breathe here. Good. And when you're ready, slow the movement down. Finding tabletop. Inhale, press down into your hands. Exhale, press down into your feet. Spread the tops of your toes. On your inhale, stretch your right leg back behind you. Lift it up. Hips height. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your nose. Curl it round. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, draw it in. One more time. Inhale, stretch it back. This time you're going to tuck your right knee back behind your left knee into the knee pit. Spread your feet. Left goes to the right side of the mat. Right goes to the left. You can walk your hands over to the left a little bit and just sit back slightly for a modified child's pose with Gomukhasana legs. Good. Lift up and forward a little bit. Find some length in your chest. And then we're just going to sit back again. Good. One more time. Lift up and forward. Open through your chest. Exhale, sit back, modified child's pose. Let your toes soften towards the earth. Press back a little bit more. Big inhale. Big exhale. Stand tall on your shins. Oh, goodness. Walking the hands back, lengthen through your spine. Good. You're going to bring your left hand out to the left. Press into your left shin. Sweep your right leg open. Gate pose with the right leg lifted out to the side. Good. You're in a half moon stance here. So you lean your weight over your left hand and stretch out through the right toes. Good, tricky transition. Bend your right knee, step your right foot out in front of you towards the top of the mat. Step forward for standing splits. Left toes lift up. Let your head hang heavy here. Ground through your right foot. Let your tailbone lift up towards the sky. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, coil down and in. Tap your left knee back behind your right heel. Look a little bit forward. Inhale, stretch it up and out. Exhale, draw it down and in. One more time. Inhale, lift it up. This time, step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Drop your left knee to the earth. Low lunge. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Good. Cactus your elbows if that feels right for your body. Breathe into the front and back and side of your ribs here. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, Skandasana to the back. Tuck your back toes. Turn your back foot out. Left bone cheek to your left heel. Flex your right toes. Good. Stay low. Bend your right knee. Warrior two. Windmill your arms open. Soft jaw. Flip your palms. Exalted warrior. Reach up. Left fingertips around your right wrist. Lengthen through your side body. Bend your right knee. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, windmill it down. Hands down. Step your right foot back to high plank. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin lower down towards the earth. Cobra pose. Draw your shoulders back. Lift your heart up and forward. Exhale, back down. Slowly inhale, cobra as you stretch back through the toes. Exhale, lower down. Locust pose, hands by your sides, fingers spread. Inhale to rise up, lift your legs. You can press your hands down into the earth or you can lift your arms. Soft jaw, soft brow here. Inhale, find length. Exhale all the way down. Press back to tabletop. And again, making a few circles here, moving through your hips and your shoulders. When you're ready, find tabletop. Inhale, spread your fingers wide. Exhale, spread your toes, lengthen your tailbone back. Find your low belly. Feel it support your spine. Inhale, stretch your left toes back, hip height. Exhale, draw your left knee in towards your chest. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, draw it in. One more time. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, you're going to tuck your left knee back behind in the right knee pit. Separate the feet, spread them open, and you might walk your hands a little over to the right. Inhale, open up through your chest, send your hips a little forward. Exhale, shift weight back. Child's pose with these Gomukhasana legs. Good, slow and steady. You'll inhale, come forward, a little bit open. Yeah, and exhale, coil in and down, sit back. I'm really pressing into my hands here, even if my tush is lifted, which it definitely is. Inhale, come forward, open through your chest. Exhale, this time we'll rest here. You might like to come all the way back to your seat, or you might like to stay on the shins and just keep extending down through the fingertips, reaching your tailbone back and down. Good, and when you feel ready, you can walk your hands in. We're gonna stand tall on the shins, lengthen your hip flexors, send your tailbone down, lift through the crown of your head. Slowly, when you're ready, you're gonna bring your right hand out to the right, press into your right shin, sweep your left leg out to the left, gate pose with the leg lifted. The right shin can swing back a little bit for support. You can flex your left toes. Deep full breaths. If you want to even reach back, left hand to your left toes for a Chapasana variation, feel free. Just breathe into it, long through your side body. Good. Stretch long through your left leg, and then bend your left knee. Step it out in front of you towards the top of the mat. Shift your weight forward. Standing splits. Lift your back toes up. Hands wide so your shoulders can soften. Take a deep breath in. Reach up through your right big toe. Exhale, coil down and in. Knee back behind your left heel. Inhale, reach up to drop down. Exhale, coil down. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, coil down. Inhale, stretch your right toes up. Exhale, step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Drop your right knee. Take your time. Lift your arms, low lunge. If it feels good, you can cactus your elbows or interlace fingers behind your head. Cradle the back of your skull, elbows open wide. Breathe into the softness of your belly here. No part of you has to be smaller here. Only to take up the fullness of the space that you can. Stretch your arms up. Hands come down and forward. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Skandasana to the back, right one cheek to your right heel. Really flex your left toes. Feel into the inner left thigh. Stay low to the earth. Bend your left knee, spider forward. Right arm lifts you up. Warrior two. Flip your palms. Exalted warrior. You might interlace fingers around your left wrist just to give yourself a little traction as you soften down into your left knee. Deep breath in. Exhale, release, hands down to the earth, left foot steps back. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog, deep breath. Stretch back, downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, hop towards the top of the mat. We're coming to Malasana. Toes out, heels in. Let your seat descend down towards the earth. Yeah. Palms come together at your heart. So the drawing in is part of what creates the extending out. And you might even exaggerate that by exhaling to curl in, chin towards your chest, round. Inhale, press into your hands, lift your heart, lift your throat. Exhale, rounding in a little bit. Inhale, open. One more time, exhale, draw in. Pelvic floor lifts. Inhale, open, belly expands, chest expands. You could stay in this open place or take the deep rounding into crow pose. Hands to the earth, knees up onto the backs of your arms. You can round, round, round deep. Forehead is in relationship to pelvic floor. Maybe you feel little plays with it here. Eventually forward fold near the top of the mat. Toes point forward. Halfway lift, make some space for your belly and heart, and then exhale, fold forward. Any arm variation, hands at released, holding opposite elbows. It feels good for your body. Knees can be deeply bent so the hips can really stack over the heels without any strain here. Exaggerate the bend in the knees so you can slowly start to roll up. Really take your time. Unfurling through your spine, through the crown of your head, up into the space above you. Inhale, reach your arms out and up, big breath. Exhale, hands to heart. Just like in Malasana, press your hands together and feel your chest lift, your navel lift, your forehead lift. Inhale, chair pose, sit back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step your right foot back. Exhale, step your left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right foot forward, warrior one, left heel down. Inhale to rise up, take your time. Soft heart, soft shoulders here. Eagle arms, left arm underneath the right. Soften into the bend in your right knee, lift your forearms up. Breathe into the back of your throat. Take an inhale. Exhale, open out to warrior two. You've still got eagle arms. Goddess pose, toes out, heels in. Lift your forearms up and shift, folding from the hips to bring your hands or forearms down towards the earth. Whenever you're ready, unwrap your arms, hands hold your ankles, let your forehead soften to the earth. When you're ready, straighten both legs, toes in, heels out for Prasarita. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold. You could take tripod headstand. You could hold the outer blades of your feet or loop your big toes and lift up on them. You could hang heavy and let gravity really do the work. Let yourself yield here. Skandasana to the left whenever you're ready. Left bum cheek towards your left heel. Flex your right toes. Stay low. Bend your right knee. Windmill the arms open. Warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Take an inhale. Reach for triangle pose. Throat and belly soft. Let your spine be what's straight and strong here. And the flesh around it gets to melt and shape shift as you explore the subtle movements in a shape that is held. Whenever you're ready, your left hand is going to come to your left hip. Gaze down, bend your right knee. Half moon. Slowly lift your left leg up and back. And then maybe the left arm extends. Chair pose. Left foot meets the right. All the way up to standing, hands to your heart. Deep breath in and full breath out. Inhale, chair pose, sit back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, right foot downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg stretches up. Exhale, step your left foot forward, setting up the warrior one. Set your back heel. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to soften in. When you're ready, your right arm's going to wrap under your left for eagle arms. Breathe into the space behind your heart, right at the back of the heart. And your chest can lift and soften back to support that opening. Lift your forearms a little bit, inhale. And exhale, open to the side for warrior two. Open your feet. Walk the feet in a little bit, goddess pose, sink deep. Lift your forearms up, deep breath. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward. You can stay with eagle arms as long as you like. Eventually releasing hands to your ankles. Rock a little side to side in this goddess squat. And when you feel ready, straighten both legs. Prasarita, inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe down dog arms here, maybe forearms come down to the floor. Slow, deep breaths. Rock your head a little side to side. Skandasana to the back. When you're ready, you're going to lift up, bend your right knee, shift your weight back. And then warrior two, stay low, bend your left knee, windmill your arms open. Straighten your left leg, big breath. Triangle pose. If you like, you can reach for a block or something solid to ground your left hand into, just to have another really sturdy point of contact with the earth so that you can feel the stretch in both directions by grounding down through left big toe, left hand, right foot. What can expand out? Whenever you're ready, right hand to your right hip, bend your left knee. Half moon. Your expression. Chair pose. Right foot meets the left. Take a big breath in. Exhale, sit a little bit deeper. Sit your seat back. Pull your shins back. Inhale, open through your chest. Exhale, sit a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale all the way down to your tush. Stretch your legs out. Stretch your arms out. Boat pose. Bring your hands to the middle. Press at prayer. Elbows out wide. Inhale. Exhale, swim to the left. Left elbow reaches back and down. Inhale, find center. Exhale, swim to the right. Right elbow back and down. Inhale, lift. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs. Exhale, low boat. Inhale, high boat. Hands together. Swim to the right. Inhale. Swim to the left. Inhale, stretch your arms, stretch your legs. Exhale, low boat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way onto your back. Stretch your legs straight up towards the sky. Shake them out. Wiggle your feet. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your knees. Just shake and release here. And when you're really tired, let the feet come to land on the earth, knees bent. And feel your lower back release towards the mat underneath you. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Push your right knee away. Hug the whole package in, interlacing fingers behind your left thigh. Flex both sets of toes. Yeah. And then you're going to loop your right big toe with peace sign fingers. Swing that right leg out to the right for half happy baby. Send your left leg long. Left leg is heavy on the earth. And if you want to, you can stretch your right leg straight, reaching up and out through your right heel as you stretch long through your left leg like Uttita Hasta on your back. Good, and then release the big toes. Squeeze your knees into a ball. Hug it in towards your chest. Rock a little side to side. Feet come back down to the earth. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Press the left knee away. And then reach through to hug your right thigh in. If you ever really want to jazz this up, you can do it against a wall or a couch or something and press your right foot into it. Yeah. And really feel how everything plugs in. When you feel ready, you can loop your left big toe with peace sign fingers. Send your right leg long, half happy baby. Good, maybe the left leg wants to stretch out at a diagonal from your left hip as your right toes reach out away from you. And then release, hug your knees in towards your chest, hold the back of your thighs, rock a little side to side. Hold the back of your thighs, start to rock forward and back. Building a little momentum, we're gonna rock up to a forward fold. Take your time when you're ready. Stretch your legs straight. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Good, halfway lift, deep breath in. Charanga, step or hop back, take your time. Upward facing dog, deep inhale. Stretch back, downward facing dog. Right leg up and back into the sky. Step your right foot forward. High lunge, lift up. Exhale to soften. You can play with the back leg being a little springy. Like feel into the buoyancy of your back heel. Good, take an inhale where you are. Exhale, bow forward, airplane pose. Spring off your left foot, launch forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, bend your front knee, step back to high lunge. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Right hand to your right hip, left arm stays lifted. Inhale. Exhale, revolve triangle. Reach your left hand out and forward. If you want to bump your back foot in, you can. Or you can just simply turn your left heel down towards the earth. Lengthen through your spine. And then twist from the hips out through the crown of the head. Like literally, whatever feels the most nourishing as you're opening up through the chest and belly. Back heel lifted, back heel down. Your body's going to tell you. Maybe the right arm wants to lift here. Good, pyramid pose. Hands come down towards the earth or towards a pillow and let your head hang. Good, bend your front knee, drop your back knee to the earth. Inhale to lift for low lunge. And then half camel, left hand swings back. Again, you can grab your block, put it underneath your left hand and shoulder for support as you arc up and back. You could also have your hand on your back thigh. your tush, or whatever is available back there. Good. Inhale to rise up, bring your hands down on the inside of your front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, walk your right foot out to the right. We're in lizard here with the back knee lifted. You could stay here. You could bind behind your right knee with your right shoulder. You could drop your back knee down for low lying lizard here. We're going to take about 10 breaths. So whatever variation feels right to you. The toe and knee on the front leg are pointing in the same direction. So either directly forward or out to the side. And you're welcome to play with a bind, a balance, even bird of paradise. Or to really welcome what it's like to let your back knee lower and let your heart soften towards the earth. Wherever you are, you're in the right place. Can you breathe some affirmation through you to affirm that that is so? To invite all of your cells to know that you're not in doubt of your own capacity to hold yourself just as you are. And that even if some parts of you are feeling in doubt, there is at least one part that is perhaps sure of your worth and your capacity, and that part can light up the other parts. A few more breaths here. Good. Whenever you're ready, you're going to lower your back knee down to the earth. Plant your hands down. And essentially, we're coming back to tabletop. You're going to lift your right foot up, stretch your right leg back. Yep, you're in tabletop with the right toes lifted up and back. Inhale here. This is where we started. Exhale, knee towards your nose. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time. Inhale, stretch back. This time, cross behind into the knee pit. Separate your feet wide. You could come a little forward to open your chest. And then we're going to sit this time all the way back onto your tush for Gomukhasana. If Gomukhasana isn't working for you today, double pigeon is perfect, right? Or really any space where you can relax down and into some conversation with your hips. And just softly rock a little side to side to let your left bum cheek and your right bum cheek start to explore landing on the mat. And it might feel good to breathe across the expanse of the front and back of your pelvis. Maybe even resting a hand underneath the curve at the bottom of your belly. To support, to feel that containment. And what message would you like to send through your hand to this body? Can it be an invitation to take up more space? And to communicate more fully? Eventually, we're going to twist gently to the left. You can bring your right hand outside your left knee and left hand back behind you to twist. And if you want to add the legs in, you can bring your right hand outside your left foot, stretch your left leg long out in front of you, and reach your left arm back behind you. If you happen to have a wall or a closet like me behind you, press your hand into the wall, right? And use that to help you lengthen up through your spine. The things that are around us are here to help us. Come back around through center. Step your left foot out in front of you. Find your low belly. Feel your left foot on the earth. Come forward. Standing splits. Right toes lift up. If you like, you could bend your knee. You could reach up with your left hand. Right hand comes out to the right for support. And bind your right big toe with your left hand. Unfurling your knee up towards the sky. Totally optional. Only if it feels good and expansive. Good, release, standing splits. Step your right foot all the way back, three-legged dog. Sweep your left leg up and back. You could stay here, you could bend your knee, you could flip your dog. Good, and when you feel ready, half pigeon, left shin forward. So you'll unflip, stretch that leg up, and then bring it out. Yeah, make some space from navel to nose. And then you might like to stay lifted. You might like to try puffed pigeon, reaching back for a bind with your back foot. Whenever you're ready, folding forward towards your pillow, towards your blanket, something soft to land on. You might like to flex your toes on your left foot and press the outer blade of your left foot down into the earth really gently. Just a couple more breaths to be with the expanse of your mind and your body here. And even if there are a lot of things moving through you right now, a lot of thoughts, a lot of sensations, just notice also how you are this really amazing container that can have all of those things inside of it at once. Like, can you simultaneously be with those things and be feeling how much space you have to have all those things move through you? And how absolutely glorious it is to have so much room. regardless of how you feel about what's moving through. And whenever you feel it's time, you can start to walk your hands back in. Open up through your chest and heart a little bit. You could step back for high plank, low plank, up dog, or just step back to downward facing dog and pedal out through your feet. We're going to land together in downward facing dog to move through a few wave motions in the spine. On your inhale, round your upper back, come all the way forward. High plank, exhale, shift back downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple forward through your spine. Exhale, shift your way back downward facing dog. One more time, like a wave, come forward. Upper back is the last thing to lengthen. Exhale, shift your way back, downward facing dog. Resting here for a moment to just feel the balance of extending through your arms and extending through your legs. Stretch your left leg up and back, inhale. Exhale, step your left foot forward, high lunge, lift up. Back heel maybe is a little bit buoyant. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, arms sweep back. Let it be a little wobbly, launch forward, airplane pose. Open through your chest and heart and belly. Good, bend your front knee, step all the way back, high lunge. And then slowly stretch your front leg straight. Square your heart towards the front, left hand to your left hip. Inhale, reach up through your right hand. Exhale, reach out and forward, lots of length here. And eventually, right hand can come down to a block or to the earth. You can spin your right heel down towards the earth and lengthen to twist over to the left. So a revolved triangle means you're extending down with long triangle legs, right? Even as you twist through the spine. The bottom half is steady and rooted. So the top half can feel some freedom to explore. Good, pyramid pose. When you feel ready, left hand comes down, same stance, lengthen your spine. Exhale, drape over your front leg. If you want to, you can flex your left toes back towards you. Deep bend in your front knee, drop your back knee down. Inhale to sweep your arms up. Low lunge. You can stay right here. You can grab your block, set it back for your right hand to root into as you come up and back with your left arm for half camel. Let your left shoulder soften into the space behind your heart as your right rib cage spins up. Good, y'all. Big breath in. Lion's breath out. Inhale to lift up. Plant your hands out in front of you. Good. Sweep your left leg back. Stretch long through your left leg. Circle it out through your feet. Big inhale. Stretch back through your left toes. Exhale, knee in towards your chest. Inhale, sweep it back. Knee in towards your chest. One more time, inhale, sweep it back. We're gonna step your left foot outside your left hand. Good, you're in lizard pose. Drop your hips down. You can keep your back knee down. You can tuck your toes, lift your back knee up. Any variation of lizard that feels right in your body here. Maybe with a bind behind your left leg, or getting really low to the earth, coming down towards your forearms. You could walk your torso out to the right. Deep, full breaths to support whatever you're up to. Maybe this side with like a twist, left hand to your left knee, looking up and over your shoulder. Take all the time you need here. And when you're ready, start to walk your hands in, press up onto your palms, drop your back knee if you haven't already. You're gonna press into your hands, pick your left foot up, and sweep your left leg back. Tabletop with the leg lifted. Hug your knee in towards your nose. Stretch it back and cross it back behind. Tuck it in behind your right knee pit. Open your feet out and sit all the way back. Right leg on top for Gomukhasana or double pigeon. Let your hips fill with sand and let that sand settle so that it's balanced from right to left. And no matter what, the root and the crown are in relationship here. So if you're sitting tall, they're in relationship, like palate and crown of the head are lifting as pelvic floor and tailbone are softening towards the earth to make spaciousness in the middle. If you're curling in and folding forward, the crown of the head is just making a full circular loop down and in towards your root. And you still find a different type of spaciousness in the back body as you round in. This practice really is about being in constant relationship to to these balancing forces. And what's it like to let our center be the very center of the space where both things are pulled apart and brought together? It makes sense then to work on the body and the mind and the emotions and the spirit all as a part of the temple that houses the center point, right? Where we can reach out from, expand out from, and also find our way home to. And eventually twisting over to the right, left hand outside your right knee. And if it feels good, left hand outside your right foot, stretch your right heel out in front, reach your right arm back behind. Good, come back through center. Everybody step your right foot out in front of you, spread through the right toes, find your pelvic floor, find your tall spine. You're gonna launch forward for standing splits, left toes up. Hands come nice and wide, let your head hang heavy. You could stay here, you could take the bind, right hand reaches up for your left toe as you unfurl your knee. Good, release the foot, stretch it up, step your left foot all the way back. Three-legged dog, sweep your right leg up. Bend your knee, you could stack your hips. You could flip your dog here. Half pigeon is the next shape, so you'll unflip right leg up and back. And then right shin comes forward. Scoot your left toes back. Maybe a little time to explore an uplifted variation. And eventually, let the earth really welcome you in as you fold forward. Let yourself really trust the timing of your own unfolding. Notice where you feel impatient where you want to rush through, and just give yourself the grace of acknowledging it. An invitation to arrive in what is available when we give a little bit of time. Whenever you're ready, you're going to walk your hands in different transition. You're just turning to the side, unfurling. Stretch the legs wide and open. Upavishta Konasana, a variation of what we were doing standing, right? The legs are wide. You can flex your toes. I like to have a bolster out in front of me or a pillow. Make a little space through your spine. Feel yourself stretch out through the heels and toes and lift up through the crown of the head. And then you're going to hinge forward from the hips. Now, I like to do this really like comfy style. So I roll up my bolster so that my pillow is like supporting my belly and my boobs. I've got like a whole, support sling here. And then I can release over. Yeah. So find a way that like you can just feel so supported. You might even like to also grab a block for your forearms, for your head. And you'll know if you find the right support because there's a different kind of release that can come. And what a gift it is to have the meter to be able to tell the difference between support that like is kind of helping and support that really lets you yield. What a beautifully important discernment tool. That place inside that tells you the difference. And whenever it feels right, you can walk your hands in a little bit. Find your way to a side bend, right arm over your right leg, left arm reaches up and over. If you're happy in the middle, stay right where you are. Maybe it feels good to turn your heart towards your right knee and fold over that leg. Good. And if you're side bending with me, you can come up through center, left arm over your left leg, reach your right arm up and over. Anchor down from your right heel through your right hip. Nice. And then turning heart towards your left knee. Hands tent on either side of the leg, folding forward. Inhale to slowly rise up. You can use your hands to help you bend your knees, hug your legs in towards center. And we're going to swivel around onto our backs. So laying all the way onto your back, setting up for any heart opener that feels good. So it might be active bridge or wheel, or where my body's taking me is supported bridge. So I'm going to walk my feet in, lift my tush, snuggle a block at low, medium, or high, or a couple of pillows. Yeah. And then I'm going to check in with my low back. If it's feeling wonky, if it's feeling kind of stiff and tight, this is probably my edge, and I'm going to breathe some space to the lower back. See if all of that skin can soften. If I'm not really feeling much, or I'm looking for a little bit more of a stretch, I might stretch one or both legs out long. So you can really play around. There's so many different ways to find some opening in the back body. Just take your time, move at your own pace. This might take you into shoulder stand or some exploration of legs up the wall. If you've got a block underneath your lower back at any time, you can decide to send your legs up towards the sky. Go ahead, feel your spine long, crown of the head reaching away from the tailbone. And if you're moving through full shoulder stand, eventually you'll come through plow pose and fish pose. If you're with me with your tush on a block and your legs up towards the sky, you can let your legs fall back towards your face a little bit for a modified plow. And then gently bending your knees to bring your feet back to earth if you're on a lock. Take all the time that you need. You could rest here, you could remove the block. You can meet us in fish pose. Sitting hands underneath your tush, press up, lift your heart, come up onto the crown of your head, take a big breath in. Lion's breath out. Once or twice more here. Go ahead, release your hands from underneath your hips. Squeeze your knees in, take a few circles to the right and circles to the left. And then any final movements here, I'll move towards a final twist, but whatever your body needs. It might be twisting, it might be happy baby pose. If you're taking a one-sided shape, just give yourself some slow time to shift towards the other side. And eventually finding your way towards center for Shavasana. Shavasana is giving yourself the deepest permission to rest. Really breathe that permission through every cell. Let it coat every part of your body. Even the muscles that feel resistant to letting go. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. 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 Take some slow, gentle breaths to move energy really sweetly from wherever it feels like the center of you is right now, gently out in every direction. And letting your sense of yourself and the warmth inside of you start to grow, expanding with some gentle movements here. Without hurry and without hesitation, knowing that you're right on time. And then take the time that you need to find your way up to a tall spine. In a way that supports what it is that you've been finding in this practice. And just like last week, we got this really bizarre card, and I tried to pull another card, but it kept coming back. So I guess it's our card this week. And we're going to do it together and find what we find, okay? Because this is part of it, is like sometimes we find things here in this practice, in this space that we weren't expecting. And it doesn't feel like the medicine until much later, right? When we actually understand it was the medicine all along. So we pulled the empty room card, which is actually really phenomenal as I look at it. It's like defined by its edges, but everything else is really expansive and open. So I'm going to read to you. The empty room haunts us all. See, I knew it. It is the universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting with the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next to save our outward appearance. Be with the nothingness. Be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you are doing. If you can settle into the magic of this spaciousness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. Mhm. Yeah. I think this is so beautiful and it's so amazing and balanced. We've been talking all about these polar opposites, and I was just singing to you this mantra of like lushness and abundance. Lakshmi is like all the things, right? She's constantly surrounded. And yet at the same time, she's constantly giving it away because she knows that emptiness is part of what defines fullness. Just like silence is one of the most important parts of music, right? We are defined by the space between things and how we arrive in it and move through it. And I think the empty room invites us into this place where we confront the legitimate panic that comes up in the space between and see it for what it is, which is a pause, completely saturated in possibility, but not yet made manifest. So if you're feeling unsure, or you're feeling empty, or you're wondering about something that is beginning but that doesn't have a name, that doesn't have form, that doesn't have clarity yet, I think this is a real invitation for us to trust the unfolding and to actually trust the incredible magic of the moments before something takes shape. There's something really essential about resting in that spaciousness and knowing that that is what defines the possibility of something taking shape, is that once it was shapeless, once it was just beginning. And where you are right now, 10, 20 years ago, was just beginning. And we are beginning things right now. Certainly in this past year, we have begun explorations and work and learning that we won't even know we've planted for another decade or two. And we'll look back and say, it started then. The learning, the growing, the listening. It's such an honor to be with you. I'm grateful to be in the presence of your sincerity. Thank you.